Jesse Draper, the Valley Girl. What does your company do? Have you ever Googled yourself?
Totally.
What makes a great entrepreneur? What's your next big idea? Tweeting's like my favorite. Let's talk business.
I'm like the Valley Girl.
What am I doing? Fishing. Trying to snag a film. Takes a lot longer to catch a film than a fish. But I am patient. Patience, my friend. Patience. Let's talk business with SnagFilms.
SnagFilms offers the broadest collection of independent movies you can watch for free online immediately. Rick Allen is the CEO of SnagFilms.
Well, I'm like the Valley Girl, and I am here with Rick Allen, who is the CEO of SnagFilms. So how are you doing?
Great.
Good. Tell us what SnagFilms does.
We're a video platform. It's all professionally generated content. It's all curated, meaning we've hand-selected films. Huge library, more than 3,200 films, all of them independent. And we provide them across every kind of website, device, and actually transactional platforms as well, so pretty much ubiquitously available. And we also provide context. We own IndieWire, which is kind of like the daily variety of independent film.
Oh,
15
definitely.
years
I
old
read
now.
IndieWire. It's
Thank
a great,
you.
yeah, it's really great.
A week from today, we pick up our second Webby as the best film and movie site.
High five!
There you go, huh?
That's fantastic.
Is that good or what?
What are some of the films you have? You have a lot of documentaries. You
We
have
do.
a lot of, but a lot of films that I know too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, even in the documentaries, people
Yeah.
know of Super Size Me or Casino Jack or
Yes.
Capturing the Freedmans, really Academy Award-winning films.
You are looking for great independent films,
Yes.
essentially, right?
Yes.
How are you guys making money? How do you work?
Sure. The films go out in two ways. Most of the films are going out on an ad-supported basis. So we sell advertising much like Hulu does. And in fact, we built out the documentary channel for Hulu. We work very closely. But we provide films to all of those platforms, all of the subscription services. So we have films on Netflix and on Hulu Plus. And Comcast, who's one of our investors, minority investor, has a new subscription service called StreamPix. We're providing films to them.
Some of your other investors too, Ted Leonsis was, he helped found it, or you guys founded it together, or?
Ted is the
Former
guy who
founder of
deserves
AOL.
all of the credit for this. It was Ted's vision. Ted was the vice chairman emeritus of AOL. He owns the sports teams in DC. He's also one of the original investors in Groupon, on their board, on the Amex board. Tremendously successful technology investor and one of the greatest guys you'll ever run across.
The hardest thing about an independent film, which I've learned now, is getting it out there.
Absolutely.
And so you guys you're taking that on.
Absolutely. Well, look, if you think about Sundance as kind of the best of the film festivals, they get as many as 9,000 submittals a year. They will show 118 films. So as Ted says, it's easier to get your child into Harvard than it is to get your film into Sundance. And then if you get into Sundance, you're bottlenecked. Of the 118 films, there are about 38 of them that are documentaries. The year that Ted and I took a film there were only 7 films that came out of Sundance with any distribution. And in fact, the festival will tell you that in some years, as many as 80% of the films they show and select don't get any distribution.
This is amazing.
Yeah. We just got to figure out how to take it to scale, right?
Right, scale it. Scale this. Definitely.
Wow.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Actually, I'm not sure that I've had eclairs in New York.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was honestly the best eclair I've ever had.
And now you're gonna have a burst of energy.
I know.
Gotta go get prep.
For me personally, I have seen every chick flick on the planet. Every single one. And, I go on iTunes or other places, and I actually have started preferring to be recommended, where they do recommended for
Yes,
you.
yes.
Because I know those are movies I haven't seen. Because I only watch chick flicks. Why would I watch anything else? I don't know. But I like those because, and those are movies I may not have heard of any of the
Yeah.
cast or anything, but they're the category of film I like, and they're not a blockbuster that I've already seen. So there are great movies out there.
Absolutely. And, you know, there are a variety of recommendation engines. Netflix has got a great one. iTunes has a great one. But what iTunes is doing, they actually have humans who are acting as editors. So they curate that service, and they will dive very, very deeply into films. So they're looking at films, they're really examining them, and what they're trying to do is bring these unexpected films out to an audience to really delight them. That's what Apple does with its products, and it's also what it does with the store. So they will be able to give you more and more suggestions, and we may be able to pull you away from a 100% chick flick diet. It's like eating these eclairs and having that be the only thing you eat. The other thing that we've put on as an overlay is to try to make it really, really easy for people to share. That's how the term snag
definitely.
came about. So that you can take the film,
Snag
put it
it.
over, snag it, put it into Facebook, put it on your blog, put it on your site. And we were the first streaming service to develop and incorporate the Facebook Open Graph, so that if you give us permission to do this, when you see a film on our site, you watch it, you review it, you rate it, you comment, all of those things publish to your feed automatically.
Okay, so I have a little activity for you. This is
Okay.
a sort of silly activity that we play with people. It's called the Fabulous Cup.
Fab Cup. It's fabulous.
Ready, go.
Silicon Valley, area in Northern California that is the hub for all technology.
Just throw them.
Pickup lines. Oh, Jesse, you're going to answer that one yourself because you've heard them all. Scalable, can grow to vast size. That's what we aim to do. A maverick. Mark Cuban would claim to be a maverick. A silly face. That's what people who can't define these terms are making. Mastermind. Ted Leonsis. A questioning look. Is this really the end?
High five!
There you go.
Nice! This is such an interesting industry because it's the convergence of technology and, old media essentially right now.
Yes.
So what do you see as being kind of the future of film and the future of media?
Well, I think that you're going to see more and more films made. We were talking before the show started about how the cost of production equipment continues to go down, and to be able to get something like the Canon 5 or the Canon 7 now. And
Yeah, we're
have it-
filming the one on the jib.
Yeah, indeed. No, I was looking at it, and it's a great product, incredibly lightweight. You can do still photography, you can do motion photography. It absolutely will handle broadcast requirements. And so that's allowing all sorts of storytellers to now tell their stories in the visual medium
And
to
for a
create
reduced
films.
cost.
Greatly reduced cost. I used to run the for-profit side of National Geographic.
Oh, right, I read
And
that.
when we started, we were still doing specials for broadcast, and we might spend $3 million an hour. By the time I left 5 years later, we could do very good half hours in the field for about $30,000 in production cost. And the issue is going to be, how do you bridge the gap between those filmmakers and storytellers and the more than 2 billion people that are going to have high-speed access? And that's what we're trying to do, is to make those connections easier, because the story you may choose to tell may be of interest to a small audience or a large audience. And the issue is, how do you identify it and bring the film to that audience?
As far as distribution, what do you foresee in the next, say, 15 years?
Well, you're going to have
Everyone's going to be on SnagFilms.
Everybody's going to be on. Thank
Obviously.
you very much. We're going to use that. Thank you. Thank you quite a lot. We last year built out applications to take us to over 100 devices. Smartphones, tablets, over-the-top boxes, connected TVs. I think you're going to continue to have these profusion of devices. In the end, most of them will connect to a big screen, to your TV in some manner.
What is one piece of advice you would give to a new entrepreneur starting out?
Well, Gene Case has recently been talking about the need for all entrepreneurs to be fearless. And I think in a lot of ways that's the best one-word aspiration to have. because as you know, in putting this show together, it is not linear progress. And so you've got to be able to be fearless, because you're going to run into obstacles, and you have to believe in yourself, in your idea, and in your business, and just keep persevering.
I'm like the Valley Girl.
And I'm like Rick Allen from SnagFilms.
And now it's time for your Ditz moment.
I'm not sure that I've had eclairs in New York.
my God, it's so good.
Yeah.